What do you think of this, Anthony?
I feel blessed to even be in a situation like this. I understand that a lot of people never get the opportunity to play Division I basketball, and I was awarded the opportunity to play Division I basketball, so it's a blessing for me.
What about this gathering? Something like this?
It's a lot of tape recorders and cameras, so this is a first. The press in junior college basketball isn't the same, so it's quite a big difference.
So are you prepared to face the scrutiny that's going to come with this, do you think?
I think that I'm 26 years old, so I think I've lived through a lot of things, and if the worst thing that I have to deal with is, media or, someone at a game saying something, then I think I'm well off.
Gary, will Anthony fit under the normal guidelines in your code of conduct? I mean, he starts ground zero like any other incoming athlete?
Absolutely.
Gary, can you talk about Fran coming to you with this and your discussions while he was recruiting Anthony?
Sure. First of all, I hadn't seen Anthony since the recruiting process, so I saw him upstairs. And, it's just great to have him here. The process started off very simply. It was Fran coming to me. I didn't know who Anthony was. I didn't know anything about his background, where he was playing, etc. And Fran said, I have an interest in a young man, not so young by recruitment standards. And look, he has this in his past. Should we keep looking into it? And I said, well, tell me more about it. He had found out, he had learned some things. And I said, yeah, let's keep going. Because from what I had heard, this is a situation that had occurred many years ago. And between that time and today, the more we kept learning about Anthony's recommitment to education and recommitment to his life and changing other lives, it was worth continuing the conversation.
Fran, Gary mentioned recommitment to his life. How important is that as you were weighing this whole thing, whether to recruit Anthony or not? I mean, when you saw what he'd done, I guess you had to be convinced that was genuine.
Well, I think the first step for me was, the first thing that I heard was he was a good player. I didn't know anything about his background. His coach immediately was up front with him. He said, you need to know this, because if you're going to proceed, you don't want to get to a certain point and make him think that we're recruiting him, and all of a sudden, we're not going to recruit him. That wouldn't be fair. And that's what I told Dave Miller. I said, if we're going to go, then we're going to go. But in the meantime, we have to do our due diligence. And it began with those kinds of conversations. But ultimately, it took a different direction for me when I talked with Anthony. And he described in detail what he did, what transpired since then, and what his mindset was as he was in the midst of a fabulous year in junior college, and then what he hoped to do in the future. And it was genuine. It was probably, quite honestly, Rick, a little bit different than what I was expecting to hear. He didn't dismiss it. He still felt bad that he was involved, but was very adamant. The only thing I could do was change what happens from this point forward. And I remember one of the things he said to me that really resonated with me, and he said, I have 29 nieces and nephews, and they look up to me. And I have an opportunity now to make that an incredibly positive experience for them. And so then again, and Anthony knows, we talked to everybody that he played for, his probation officer, both college coaches, the assistant coaches, the athletic directors, and then we watch him play. We talk to folks at the school, and you get a chance to meet him. He's immediately likable. But the important thing was when he got here on campus for his visit. Most of the time, as you know, it's a recruiting trip. We're recruiting you. We're selling you on who we are. But in his case, quite frankly, it was a little bit different. He had to sell himself. He had to convince a lot of people. And so his itinerary, his recruiting itinerary was a little bit different. And he met with folks that some prospects normally wouldn't meet with. And he was asked questions that would normally not be asked. And he welcomed those questions, answered them to everyone's satisfaction. And as excited as Anthony said he is, I mean, we're equally excited to have him be part of the Iowa basketball family.